Deputy Gilmore, please.
Cancurla, for quite some time now, I have, on behalf of the Labour Party, been urging the Taoiseach and the Government to conclude an agreement which would provide for a reduction in the public service pay bill and for reforms in the public service. I have here 7 documents which were signed off as agreed by last Friday between the public service trade unions and the Government. The document on the health service, which has 15 specific reforms in it, including change to 8-to-8 rostering over 5 days over 7 days, significant savings on overtime, premia, weekend working. One for the education sector, which provides for increased hours for those working in the education sector and a revision of teachers' contracts. One for the local government service, which includes reductions in the numbers of directors of service and directorates and arrangements whereby one local authority could provide services for another. One for the civil service, which gives management the right to redeploy staff across civil service departments. 2 specific documents relating to redeployment and how it could be achieved, right down to things like that redeployment could take place within a 50-kilometre radius, the number of sick leave days that would disqualify somebody, quite specific details which would have provided the Government not only with the 1.3 billion in savings which they were achieving, but also reforms, much-needed reforms of the public service. Now, Taoiseach, you and the Minister for Finance met the public service unions, I think it was on Tuesday, in which you told them that it was game on for this agreement. And on that basis, they called off their one-day strike. Discussions continued right through lunchtime on Friday, and on Friday, the Cabinet decided to pull the plug on the agreement. Now, Taoiseach, I want you to explain to us why you have thrown away an opportunity to get long-term reforms in the public service for a quick 1-year fix for next year, purely, it would appear, on the basis of Fianna Fáil's political need.
Deputy Gilmore.
Well, Cancurla, it seems to me that the Government and the unions were within touching distance of concluding an agreement which would not only have provided the savings, but would have delivered public service reform, a better deal for the public in terms of delivery of services, and industrial peace in the time ahead. At best, it is incompetence that the Government couldn't conclude that agreement. At worst, it is devious. And the bottom line, Taoiseach, is not what you said. The bottom line, Taoiseach, is that you have a Minister for Finance who is now so anxious to get his hands on your job that he was prepared to sink this agreement. Clearly doesn't subscribe to your view, Taoiseach, that political loyalty is a virtue. And from early last week, from the time that there was an agreement in prospect, he had his representatives out on the airwaves doing his damnedest to undermine the work that was going on. And it was stupid and it was short-sighted, because the fact that an opportunity to get a serious reform in the public services has now been thrown away and turned down by Government is something that I believe we will all regret next year.